tusimame, ili mradi tuinuane, tupendane, ni muungano, kwa pamoja tuungane, kitu kimoja tusimame.
The Kisumu Water Adaptation Planning effort started in the year 2023.
Started by training research assistants for this project. Once we trained them, we gathered data, we went around with them in the 7 wards of Kisumu County, just to get information that was required to enable this program, jumpstart the program or kickstart it.
This process has been community-led, which means the communities take lead in proposing the different priorities in their wards.
Community-led in the sense that it is the communities that are most affected in the event of a disaster. Community-led in the sense that it is the community that has information or knowledge of the type and extent of disasters.
We work with Kisumu University, we work with the county government of Kisumu, Department of Environment, Climate Change, Water and Natural Resources, and the Department of Lands and Planning.
We appreciate other knowledge bases. In this case, we have the policy makers who are in the county. What sort of information do they have? We have also the academic that are good in doing research, collecting data. We have other players involved in disaster management, like NGOs, CPOs, and even international NGOs that are involved. All this now we are bringing them together to collect this kind of information.
Kijiji kiungana ni ishara ya nguvu moja, mfano poa kwa jamii na generation inakuja. Miadarati tukomeshe, daktari akose wagonja, tegemeo ni kama sisi, tegemeo ni sisi.
The risk availability assessment was conducted within the 7 wards that do form up the Kisumu municipality informal settlements within that particular neighborhood.
There was a need to map the hotspots, the vulnerability hotspots. So what we did was to agree on starting with 7 wards within the county and within the city in particular.
We identified various issues that were affecting the community.
They gave us, data about different aspects of vulnerability and climate change risks, including data on demographics, including data on levels of exposure and vulnerability, including areas that were considered most at risk.
They have also highlighted very elaborately how there is lack of resilience among the community every time they are faced with these disasters. Their businesses collapse. They have had to be, they have suffered various ailments, particularly waterborne diseases. They have also had food security challenges arising from the dry spell compounded by effects of climate change.
When we go out to collect data, we get a lot of information from the community, and not just the community, even from, we call them key informants, the technical officers. This information, we now process it. Because this is supposed to be a participatory process, we need to bring these people on board once more.
Having gathered all the vulnerabilities and the issues that were raised by the communities, we now went into some visioning kind of process, and we asked them to tell us their vision, which also took a bit of time, and it was very, very elaborate. The communities had the opportunity to tell us what they dream, to tell us what they think, and to tell us how they wish these things to be tackled and to be done.
We made this one very participatory We want all members of the community being involved. And we have identified different stakeholders within the community. And the ones that we've also not left out are the so-called marginalized, that is the women, the children, people with the disability, the old. Those ones we've really looked at because we think of them in the event of a disaster. How can they respond?
During the community visioning exercise, the committee members were able to propose some of the strategies that they felt that if the county government or other related state agency could be able to implement those strategies, they could be able to build their levels of resilience and also adaptation capacity to climatic risks that they do experience.
The communities have different projects in mind. For us, we need now to synthesize which is the priority, which one would have the greatest impact. So we are now bringing the communities together, and it must be on some kind of consensus in the sense that they have to all be, participate. They must also all agree on which project to implement.
By looking at the proposals they had made in terms of issue areas they discussed and agreed on, the gaps that they had noted in terms of development within their areas, the interventions that they're proposing to address some of these issues to make their community more resilient, and finally a monitoring and evaluation matrix that will help them monitor and evaluate whether the interventions that they are put in place, if implemented, will result in mitigation of the impacts of climate change and how they will adapt to the effects of climate change moving forward.
Yes, I was born in the slum, but I swear the slum was a burning me. I've got something great to show the world. I beg no look low on me. I no be bad guy. I beg no the booze crime for me. Rose feet grow for the slum and mansion.
Information is power. Information a fire. Some information is scatter. Scatter, scatter. Information is power. Information a fire. Some information is scatter. Scatter, scatter.
Remove the slum from the people. Remove the slum from the people. And other people from the slum.
And other people from the slum.
Remove the slum from the people.
This was a learning process, very educative and quite engaging.
This plan, therefore, we are hoping would inform even the next CIDP that will be prepared. If we wanted to find its way into the CIDP of county government of Kisumu, whereby we see the projects identified by the community being implemented by the county government.
We want to have projects that are bankable, projects that even if Voices for Just Climate Action needs to pay, the communities can continually ensure that they are implemented through the different development partners that are within the county. So we are always encouraging community-led processes because at the end of the day, it's the community voice that needs to be heard. It's the communities who are the final consumers of this project. I want to say thank you so much to the different teams that we've been working with, Muungano na Vijiji, the communities, the county government of Kisumu and Maseno, for ensuring that this process runs seamlessly and we produce projects that are bankable and sustainable. Thank you so much.
We did, but I swear we no palace. Mama, we busy doing something very positive. Now come they treat us bad, we not be refugee. Information is power, information a fire. Some information is scatter, scatter, scatter. Information is power, Information a fire, some information can scatter.